Kotoura-san is a supernatural romantic comedy drama anime. It's pretty recent. It first ran from January 11, 2013 to March 29th of this year. It's all about a young girl who was born with the ability to read minds. And from a young age, she didn't understand that she had this ability. And because of her misunderstanding of reading minds and actual what people are saying, she has pretty much separated her own parents because of her abilities. People become distant from her, calling her names. Even her own parents, got rid of her. And she has been pretty much alone for her entire life. That is until she goes to high school, where she meets a young boy named Manabe, who is a dumb-witted, perverted, good-hearted boy who offers her his friendship, and they join the ESP club, and thus the hilarity begins. Let's begin by talking about the characters. The main character, Kotora, is obviously the young girl who was born into a wealthy family and has the ability to read minds. Like I said, when she was young, she really didn't understand that she had this power and would just blurt out what people are saying in their heads, and this would cause a lot of arguments and really make her distant. After her parents left, she really isolated herself and kept all of her emotions inside her. She has all the people's thoughts going into her head, and you could see how that could really traumatize her. And she tries to really keep herself away from people because she knows the pain that comes from this power. So she really doesn't want to have friends because the power of reading minds could really destroy a friendship. And she does try to keep herself closed. But obviously in this anime, she actually has friends, and she learns to be more open with them. And it's really cool how she adapts and becomes a much more better person. You see at the beginning of this anime that she really is closed and kind of bitter a little bit, but becomes more open and really is integrated back into society. Manabe is the first friend that Kotora makes in high school. He's the dumb-witted, perverted boy who becomes friends with her. He sort of likes her. He gets actually interested in the fact that she can actually read minds. That she can read minds, and isn't really scared by this. And he says that I'm going to be your friend and I'll stick by you no matter what. And he's a very loyal friend, and he will always help Kotora as much as he needs. Anyone who tries to bully her, he will bring down the justice that is deserved. He does like to tease her, fantasizing dirty things, and she gets all angry, goes stop it. It's pretty funny. The joke does get old after a bit, but he's a very nice character, and obviously the perverted character thing that gets old after a while. But he's a pretty cool character, and there's some really good jokes with him in the series. The next two characters are the members of the ESP club. There is sorry for the Japanese names, I can't say them, okay? Yuriko Mifane, who is the president of the ESP club. She has a very similar backstory to Kotora, except that she did not have a psychic ability. It was actually her mother. Her mother used to help out with police investigations, and she actually committed suicide because of all this tabloid things saying that she was a fake and stuff. And she was traumatized by this and even bullied for some reason. I don't know what arsehole bullies you because your mum died. That's just ridiculous. So she feels a lot of the same feelings that Kotora had when she was young. Being isolated from everyone else, and her only friend is the next character I'll talk about in a minute, and she befriends Kotora, but at the same time is using her. She even says this in some of the episodes where she's using Kotora to avenge her mother's death, to prove that, psychic abilities are real, and wants to, take away the shame of her family. Although later on in the series, it doesn't really show up again. I mean, it does show that she's actually a good friend of Kotora, but at the same time, there's a little bit somewhat there that she's actually using her, but it's not really played up to some sort of dramatic payoff. It's kind of downscale, and they actually are friends. It's not like she's using her at all. They are actually really good friends. Now, the character that she became friends with was again, Japanese name's no good. Dachi Motoro. He's the vice president of the club. He's very short and has big glasses and weird number 3 for a mouth. It's really funny. That's her childhood friend, and there's sort of a thing going on between the two. Well, she likes him, but he's kind of, even though he's really smart, he doesn't really get the hints that she really likes him. You know what I mean? He's very intelligent, but he doesn't really question any of the actions. He just goes along with it. But he's a very loyal friend as well. There's actually one episode where he puts himself in the front lines for her, and it's actually shown that they actually have got a really strong bond. It's almost like they're boyfriend and girlfriend, really. The last character is Mori-san, who is a classmate of Koto's and Manabe's. She has a little bit of history with Manabe because they were in middle school together, and she kind of likes him as well. Her family owns a dojo. She knows a lot of fighting styles, and she was actually shown in the first few episodes as a bully. She did not like the fact that Koto-san was getting so close to him, and she felt threatened by this. And there was a few instances in which she realized that, I'm actually a really terrible person, and actually asks for forgiveness and becomes friends with them. And she's kind of like the close. They like to make jokes about her. She can't really cook well. She is occasionally a very fearsome character. There's a parts where, she will actually punch Maname because being a pervert, and it's really funny. Now, there isn't many side characters, although there's only 3, really. There's the High Priest and the grandfather who took care of Kotoura-san when she was a very young age. They're in the series a bit. They're in a few episodes. That's about it. They're pretty cool. The grandfather, the pervert, just like Manabe, and he's always rooting for Manabe to get in there, son. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the High Priest is actually a very nice character. He just wants to help Kotoura as much as they want. There's also another side character, her mother. And let me tell you this right now, she is the biggest thunder bitch there is. Oh my god, I hated this woman. I have never hated a woman so much. This woman is like Mother of the Year sarcastically. She is just so... I mean, she gives birth to this lovely child, and she reads minds, and it's not like she even tries to actually explain it to her daughter. She cheats on her husband, and bloody, just drags her daughter everywhere to just find out what's wrong with her, and abandons her, and even says to the girl, I should never give him born to you. What a bitch! She needs to die. She was a horrible, 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 horrible character. At least that's what I thought at first. My opinion has actually changed. I'm going to go slight spoiler into the mother character, just skip the next minute or so. But basically, the mother character is actually quite interesting. You really do hate her, like I said, you really don't like the character. And there's actually moments in the series where Kotoura-san actually has nightmares, where her mother is basically just taking the piss out of her. It's like, oh, you're going to ruin everything you've got. I'm like, fucking bitch, what's wrong with you? I know I'm swearing a lot, but sorry. But there's actually a scene where I actually changed my view of the character. I really didn't like her. There was a scene where Kotoura-san actually accidentally bumps into her mother with her friends at this dinner place and stuff. The mother goes to the daughter, oh, you're not going to keep these friends forever. They're going to go away because of your powers. And then Manabe comes and goes, I'll be with her forever. And he gets a bit perverted towards her, as a joke thing. And the mother actually punches him and goes, what a vulgar boy. You could do better than that. And it actually shows that she does have some stuff left in her, loving stuff for her daughter. She still cares a little bit. I always thought that she was just really soulless and heartless woman because of how she abandoned her daughter. But that moment actually really, really changed what I felt about her. Like, as you saw a minute ago, my rant about her, I really hated her that much. I mean, she was probably the only woman I would ever want to slap. I'm being serious. I really didn't like her. I mean, but you can even see in her face the dread and, just the pain that she has in her. Even just looking at her, she looks like a mess right now from the beginning, from the first episode. She looks all cheerful, full of life. But when you see her later on, she looks like she's been through hell and she looks terrible. And in the last episode, the mother and daughter do actually talk a bit. We're not going to spoil it there, that's about it really. But if you've gone past the spoilers, congratulations, you're not going to ruin the parts with the mother. So anyway, let's talk about the anime itself. What do I think of it? I think it's actually a pretty good anime, but there are some problems that I have with it. The first 4 episodes are pretty much the best ones, mainly because it does deal with the whole sort of isolation incident stuff where, Kotoura-san is trying to adapt into this new life of actually having friends and stuff. It's actually quite dark. I mean, in the first episode, you're going to get a misimpression of it because the first 10 minutes are actually pretty dark. I mean, even in the first 10 minutes, it starts off with sort of light colours, and then once she has this ability, the colours have become more dim and until, when the whole bad stuff happens where, her friends don't like her anymore and when parents leave and stuff, the colours in the animation actually become dim and, all grey and stuff, just to sort of reflect, the terrible situation she's in at the moment. But they never really take advantage of the fact that she has this power of reading minds. I mean, it's there, and the first few episodes and little bits in later episodes show the hardship and what she can actually feel from it and how bad it can be to have this ability. But they never really go out of the comfort zone. They always play it safe. I mean, they use the whole thing where she can read minds of people, what they think in their head, kind of like an anime already, because an anime characters do monologue in their head and you can hear it, so it's only that the main character can also hear it as well. It's also used for jokes as well, when Manabe does perverted things in their head, in his head about her, and there's a joke there about it. Oh, that's about it really. But in later episodes, from 5 and 6 and 7, you don't even realize she has this ability anymore. They don't really play in it or take advantage of the fact that she has this ability. It just feels very safe, and they didn't really go out there and take advantage of this power, make it a little bit more dramatic story. I mean, yes, there are dramatic stories, and it's brilliant. I mean, The first 4 episodes are good. 5 and 6 bring it down a bit, and like 10 onwards do bring it back up a bit, but not like in the sort of drama sense, but interest wise anyway. I really wish they took more advantage of the whole stuff about the mind reading. During that one episode in Tortured, where Tosh actually had the ability to read minds, that was pretty good. In the later episodes, there's a part where she has to find a criminal, and she uses her psychic abilities to help out, and that's a really good episode. I really like the fact that she's using her abilities rather than just being a sort of like an ongoing joke type of thing. But yeah, that's one of the major problems with the series, the fact that it does really play itself safe. I mean, when you watch it, you don't even feel like she has this ability. I mean, in the middle of the season, it just feels like a normal average high school anime. They don't really play on the fact that she has this mind reading ability, which I think is one of the disadvantages of this anime, that they don't really take advantage of it. Later series, like I said, with the whole like sort of tracking down the criminal thing, they use it to good effect. But I'd be lying to say that I didn't enjoy this anime. I found it to be really nice. I mean, I really did like the fact that it showed this girl who was so lonely, and we actually see this journey of her actually having friends, having her own life, having her place in this world. It was a lovely transition, and I really enjoyed this whole journey of how she got friends and the hardships she went through a little bit, and it was just such a nice moment. And the whole thing with Kotoura-san and Manabe, which I always hate in anime, where these two characters actually do love each other. They actually said it in themselves, not to each other, but they said to other people that they do like each other. And obviously, at the end of the season, they get together, which I always hate. I mean, but I do really like this anime, and maybe if I have a warm, fuzzy feeling here right now, I just loved it when she actually has this life of her own. It's really nice because she deserves it. I mean, like, because you really do feel bad for her. It's always that first 10 minutes of the first episode which really hit home. It was really sad. The comedy is really good. I did have a good few laughs. The stuff with Manabe and Kotoura are really funny. There's parts where she's a klutz. I mean, there's one episode where she holds a picture and just jumps onto the floor and just rolling around on the floor. That was really funny. There are some genuinely funny moments in this series. There's a lot of hilarious ones, like with Mori-san, her whole dojo thing where they all say Mori, Mori, Mori. It's really funny. You'll enjoy it. You'll get a few giggles out of it. But it is a very nice anime. It's a very safe anime. It does play to a lot of the conventions that you get with the high school anime. There is the obviously obligatory beach scene because you need one. But it is a very enjoyable anime. Overall, what would I give it? I give this an enthusiastically, I think the word is, 7 out of 10. I wouldn't go any further because it doesn't deserve 8s or 9s. It is very much a good anime. 7 for me equals a good. And yeah, you can watch Kotoura-san on Crunchyroll. It's officially licensed there. All episodes are there. You can go there, watch it legitimately, because you're all good otakus out there, so you better give back to the world, I think, or something. So anyway, that is all, and see you next time.